All right, we got who portrayed Batman the most accurately from the Batcave.
Since his debut in Detective Comics issue 27 in 1939, Batman has become an iconic superhero with a rich history in various forms of media. One of the critical aspects of bringing the Dark Knight to life is the actor who takes on the mantle of Batman. Over the years, numerous talented actors have donned the cape and cowl, each bringing their unique interpretation to the character. So in today's video, we will compare and evaluate the performances of some of the notable actors who have portrayed Batman, aiming to determine who truly embodies the essence of not only the Dark Knight, but of Bruce Wayne as well. The criteria for this video will be accuracy, not who is my favorite, but
Okay, that seems pretty fair. I'm excited that you added in the Bruce Wayne factor because Bruce Wayne is just as important as Batman is himself.
purely accuracy. So let's get into it.
Okay, and like both characters, I think are just like equally, what do you call it? Interesting. Um, much so I can kind of contrast this with like Superman and Clark Kent. Superman, uh, I would say Superman is more interesting. Well, actually, here, I actually have to take that back, and then I have to like rethink about it because Kal-El had to take on the guise of what do you call it, Clark Kent, and Clark Kent was just a depiction of what Kal-El thought is the average, I don't know, American. All right, they're cowardly, they're timid, they run away, they're afraid a lot. So Clark Kent was just like your average guy, your average like just dude. Superman was just Kal-El being himself. So I would say Superman is more interesting in that way. However, you can always depend on Superman to do the right thing. Batman, it's like, I don't know. Like Batman and Bruce Wayne are just so interesting. Like Batman is like a good guy, but the way he goes about it is not in a good way. Like he will like beat the shit out of someone and torture them, but he won't kill them. So it's like you have to question his morals and his ethics at that point. Like, okay, so you won't kill someone, but you'll beat the shit out of them and more or less torture them. So there's like, where's the gray? Like, where's the gray? Where's your line? I mean, obviously with Batman, it's like killing and whatnot. But with Bruce Wayne, I mean, yes, he's like a billionaire or whatever, but I think Bruce Wayne was only meant to be like a stereotypical just billionaire guy. I mean, maybe I haven't read enough like Batman comics or like lore for Bruce Wayne. I mean, yes, he's like got all that like childhood like baggage from watching his parents die in front of him, but I don't know. Bruce, I think the Bruce Wayne half is up to it's more of a variable because depending on what you think like a regular billionaire is gonna like kind of sway your opinion on is Bruce Wayne like was that a good depiction of Bruce Wayne or was that a bad depiction of Bruce Wayne?
What are you? I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Fear. I'm vengeance.
Now, before we look at each actor individually and compare, what is it that we are looking for? How should Batman and Bruce Wayne actually come across?
Oh.
How should they be portrayed? Well,
honestly, I for the most part, I like every depiction of Batman and Bruce Wayne. I have never really seen a Batman movie where I disliked the depiction of both Batman and Bruce Wayne, if at all. The only thing that I can say is like maybe the early depiction of Batman with where it was like I forgot what his name was. Like you saw in the beginning, it was like him and Robin, and it was like they tried to do the more cartoony version of him with all the pows, kabams, whaps. Like I never saw that show, but I've seen clips of it, and I'm just like, well, that's not the Batman. I didn't really have an idea of what Batman was until my first, what do you call it, like interaction with like Batman was from the Batman animated series with Kevin Conroy as the voice of Batman. That was my first like interaction with Batman.
Well, we simply need to look at the most common version of the character throughout the comics. We can also use two other very accurate adaptations of Batman as a source of comparison, and that is of course the Batman animated series version and the version seen in the Arkham video games. Very few people would disagree that both of those perfectly capture the essence of the character.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. The Batman animated series and probably the Batman from the Arkham games. I mean, but what's the commonality between them? It's Kevin Conroy. He did the voice for both of them.
Now, Batman embodies duality of human nature. He is a symbol of fear and darkness, instilling terror in the hearts of criminals. Yet, he is also a symbol of hope and justice.
Yeah, this scene was crazy. When I first saw this in theaters, I was like, I legit felt like I took the gas. And I was seeing this little depiction of Batman. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Inspiring the people of Gotham to rise above their fears and fight for a better world. Batman operates in the shadows, working outside the boundaries of the law to dismantle organized crime and confront the city's most nefarious villains. On the surface, Bruce Wayne is a charismatic and affluent playboy, known for his extravagant lifestyle and prestigious Wayne Enterprises.
Right, but a lot of the times, Bruce Wayne, he always felt he was like a shut-in. Like, he didn't want to interact and be social. It felt like. If he had to be social, he was always, like, it was Alfred trying to, like, drag him out and do it, and he's like, okay, I guess I have to just show face and do all this shit. But, like, yeah.
He embodies the epitome of wealth and privilege. Yes, he secretly uses his vast resources to fund his crime-fighting endeavors, but he also supports charitable causes publicly. Either way, beneath his facade lies a deeply tormented soul shaped by tragedy and an unwavering commitment to justice. Now, believe it or not, there are lots of opposites in this character, and it would be an extremely complicated and in-depth person for any actor to attempt to play.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the different live-action attempts. Adam West. Adam West's portrayal of Batman in the 1960s Batman television series showcased a campy and light-hearted version of the character.
Yeah.
His performance was characterized by a distinct blend of seriousness and comedic charm, making the show an instant hit. While his portrayal may not really align with the dark and brooding nature of the character as depicted in the comics, West's Batman left an indelible mark on popular culture.
I mean, honestly, to Adam's defense, he was probably portraying the Batman that he saw in the comics, and I would guess at the time there was a considerable amount of pows, kabams, whaps, thonks, and you know, this little scene of him holding like just a big sphere with a little fuse on top of it, I could 100% imagine this being like in a comic panel, and he's just like, oh guys, I got the bomb, I'm about to dip on out of here. But whenever you try to translate something that you see in like a comic into like live action, it doesn't always go over so well because they just don't translate the same. This is the same thing with animes going into live action. Most of the time they just don't translate over. If the actors and the directors try to, you know, keep this like almost like 100% character accuracy and all the mannerisms that go on in an anime, it just doesn't follow through. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
And introduce Batman to a wider audience.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, it's really hard for me to say that Adam West portrayed Batman accurately. The show was more a reflection of the time.
Yeah, of the
60s.
comic.
It kind of made sense there and then, but neither Batman nor Bruce Wayne were particularly accurate to the original idea of the character.
Really?
Yes, there was a lot of crime fighting, problem solving, and detective work, but not really in the way that they were intended to be done. It was over the top for comedic relief.
Yeah.
And that, in my opinion, makes it very inaccurate. Michael Keaton.
This is where we started to get the little more broody Batman, the more serious Batman, you know? You see like the leather suit, the cowl, like everything's like black on black with a smidge of yellow in there.
Portrayal in Tim Burton's Batman films, Batman in 1989 and Batman Returns in 1992, revitalized the character on the big screen. Keaton brought a unique intensity while also infusing the character with a charismatic charm. His performance showcased the duality of Batman's identity, creating a believable and captivating portrayal that resonated with audiences. Now, while this may be true, is it accurate? Well, I am a fan of his portrayal of Bruce Wayne. I wouldn't necessarily call him an eccentric billionaire, but at the same time, I wouldn't really believe him to be spending his nights fighting crime, so I guess the role of Bruce Wayne is played well. However, as Batman, he does come across as this symbol of fear.
What's really interesting is there is the public display of Bruce Wayne to like the public whenever he goes like outside the mansion and has to interact with what do you call it, like just anybody in public or whatever, like for his business or like the press or whatever. There's that version of Bruce Wayne, and then there's the version of Bruce Wayne where he's just chilling in the bat cave, like out of the bat, like he's not in the bat suit, but he's doing Batman shit. He's doing all the investigative things. I think that's really cool to see like Bruce Wayne like in his room in the bat cave, like, okay, I gotta order this, I gotta order this, I gotta make this, doing all the investigative work, you know, breaking down all the bullet patterns and the blood splotches and trying to investigate shit using, like, he's behind his like big ass computer. You got the Batmobile in the background that you can see. I like that version of Bruce Wayne where he's like, all you see on the screen is Bruce Wayne, but he's just doing Batman shit.
Justice, but it lacks so many elements of the character. For example, detective work. Batman is, of course, the world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
And it's a huge element of who he is as a character, as a hero. So taking that away from him kind of makes it, again, an inaccurate portrayal. Val Kilmer. Now, while Val Kilmer is kind of largely forgotten about as Batman by a lot of your casual fans...
Oh, wait, is this the one with the bat nipples? This is the one with the bat nipples.
He brought a different take to the character. Kilmer's portrayal of Batman showcased a balance between the brooding, intense nature of the character and a more introspective and emotional side. He captured the essence of...
Oh, yeah. I remember these. Was this the one with, like, Poison Ivy? There was, like, a couple different ones. There was one with Two-Face and the Riddler, and the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and Poison Ivy was in there. Oh, man.
Bruce Wayne's internal struggles and the weight he carries as a protector of Gotham City. Kilmer's performance exuded a sense of sophistication and intelligence, but not really reflecting that billionaire playboy persona that Bruce Wayne should adopt in public. In fact, he comes across quite openly heroic as Bruce Wayne in some scenes. But again, that mainly comes down to the writing and not necessarily Kilmer's portrayal. One notable aspect of Kilmer's performance was his physicality. He brought a graceful and athletic presence to the role, displaying agility and combat skills that befit Batman's reputation as a formidable fighter. Kilmer's Batman moved with this...
I never would have thought of that. I would have thought, like, back in the day with all this shit, that they would have had, like, the stuntmen doing all of that. But if Val Kilmer did, like, a lot of the action sequences himself, fucking hell yeah then.
Certain fluidity, emphasizing his prowess in martial arts and his ability to strike fear into the hearts of criminals. In terms of the character's psychology, Kilmer portrayed Bruce Wayne's internal conflicts and torments with subtlety and depth. He captured the inner turmoil and psychological scars that drive Batman's mission, exploring the duality of the character's personality. Kilmer's portrayal showcased the internal battle between Bruce's desire for justice and his struggle to find peace within himself. Now again, when we start talking about accuracy, I think a lot of things here were done correctly. However, due to the nature of the film of Batman Forever, which I'm not going to go into.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you had the Batman side, which was like supposed to be like more serious, and then all of a sudden you have someone like a Jim Carrey, like awesome comedian for the comic relief of the Riddler, like to have a little I don't know, light and darkness to the show. They're just like polar opposites.
Now, again, certain aspects and elements were forgotten. George Clooney. Where to start?
Oh yeah, no, this is the one with the bat nipples. Yeah.
I want to be nice. I want to be positive, but it's tough. I'll try. Clooney's physicality as Batman was relatively solid, showcasing a more imposing and muscular presence. He had a commanding presence in the Batsuit, and his fight sequences displayed some of Batman's combat skills. However, the overall portrayal of Batman leaned more...
Oh, the ice skates. I forgot about that. I mean, in that little sequence, it kind of reminded me of like, is the Batsuit just like a more or less like a little go-go gadget, this instrument type of deal? Because, and you know, there's another scene where he like whips out the Bat credit card or whatever, or it's like infinite limit. It's like, okay, you're just gonna pull knickknacks out of whatever, wherever now. Okay, this is no longer just a Batsuit. It's you are go-go Inspector Gadget.
Towards the action hero archetype, rather than exploring the character's nuanced layers. He was more of a suave and charismatic Bruce Wayne, capturing the billionaire playboy persona with his smooth demeanor and sophisticated style.
Boom! Credit card. Batman Forever. What does this say? What does that say? Goth card? Or Got card? God card? I think that's a Bat card? No, that has to say Goth card. That's so weird.
He embodied the public image that Bruce Wayne presents to the world, exuding confidence and charm. Clooney's Bruce Wayne was depicted as a charismatic...
Yeah, like, look at this look. Yeah. He's just like, I'm gonna sleep with you eyes. Yeah. Look at that smolder, dude. He's gonna smolder you to death.
Figure engaging in witty banter and displaying a certain level of self-assuredness. However, one aspect of Clooney's portrayal that received criticism was the lack of depth and emotional complexity in his portrayal as Batman. The film's lighter tone and focus on over-the-top action sequences often overshadowed the character's internal struggles and psychological depth. As a result, Clooney's Batman appeared somewhat one-dimensional, lacking the brooding intensity and internal conflicts that are typically associated with The Dark Knight.
There was like so much more intensity coming from Arnold back here than Batman right here.
It just felt like he couldn't take anything seriously. We just have to look at the scene where he's informing Robin that Alfred is dying. It looks like he finds it kind of funny. It really...
Yeah, that's... When you put it like this, I've never really thought about it like that. Because the last time I saw this movie was so many years ago. It's like, somebody just told you the person that raised you is about to die. And you're just like... doing all of this. It's like, what the fuck?
It frustrates me. Anyway, Christian Bale. Bale's portrayal in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy pushed the boundaries of Batman's complexity and realism. Bale's commitment to the role was evident in his physical transformation, intense performance, and nuanced portrayal of both Batman and Bruce Wayne. He emphasized the psychological and emotional struggles of the character, showcasing the internal conflicts that drive Batman's vigilantism. Bale's embodiment of Batman became the benchmark against which subsequent portrayals would be measured. However,
I think, besides the voice thing, this is like the gold standard of like Batman as we see it like on screen. 100%, dude. It was so awesome.
What I'm talking about here is mainly thanks to the writing, not the portrayal.
Oh.
So, talking about Bale himself.
Good writers.
He obviously got extremely in shape. He moved very well. He had believable armor and gadgets, but wasn't as physically intimidating as Batman could be. I also have to mention the voice. Now, while I think Batman should obviously have a different voice to Bruce Wayne, Bale's got a little bit out of hand. It started off okay, then almost seemed like he was impersonating and mocking himself as...
Yeah. I mean, I've seen plenty of YouTube videos making fun of like the Bat voice when in later iterations of the Batman, it's just like a little voice changer that he has. But I mean, good on him for summoning that type of intensity to bring to the character. I think that's cool.
As the films went on. However, having said that, his Bruce Wayne, I feel, was spot on. You see him in some of the scenes in the first two movies, and you would never connect this asshole with the guy that risks his life every night to protect the innocent, to fight corruption and injustice. He comes across perfectly as that rich guy that thinks there are no consequences to his actions.
Yeah, and I think Christian Bale like really pushed the character of Bruce Wayne further than any of the other Batmans because of like all the complexity there is to him, you know, with Alfred raising him, Alfred trying to get him out of the house and be more social, where he just wants to stay in and do Batman shit all day and all night. You know, Alfred has to be like, well, you have to keep up appearances, sir.
Actions. But his Batman could use some work. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's portrayal of Batman in the DC Extended Universe, particularly Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice and Justice League, presented a more seasoned and weary version of the Dark Knight. Affleck brought a rugged physicality and a world-weary demeanour to the role, emphasizing Batman's seasoned crime-fighting experience. His performance showcased a jaded and battle-worn Batman, haunted by past failures. Although the films received mixed reviews, Affleck's portrayal was generally regarded as one of the highlights.
Oh yeah,
it was almost the most.
Yeah, I loved it when Ben Affleck was it got cast for the Batman. Like, I don't know, but anytime when like another Batman movie is coming out and like they announce who is gonna play this role or that role, everyone is like, oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't believe this guy is playing this. I can't believe that guy is playing that. There's no shot. I never would have thought about it like that. And then most of the time, the actor just follows through and just commits to the role, and most of the time they nail it, dude. It's awesome.
Most believable in the suit, being genuinely quite intimidating and terrifying. You sort of understand why criminals would fear this man. The same can't really be said as convincingly, at least, for any of the other actors. As for his portrayal of Bruce Wayne, the stuck-up billionaire stuff works well. He looks rich and important, but I also don't think he quite does a good enough job of being eccentric enough to prevent any suspicion of him spending his nights in a cape and cowl. Robert Pattinson.
Too broody.
Robert Pattinson's portrayal in The Batman brings a fresh interpretation to the character. It's certainly a darker and more introspective Batman.
Oh yeah. So to my knowledge, this is just like an opinion, the Robert Pattinson Batman was supposed to be like a year one or year two type of Batman. You know, he's not like a complete noob, but he's been kind of doing it for a little bit. But he's not like the perfect you know, like fighting master that we all know and love of the Batman.
Exploring the detective aspect,
he still makes mistakes.
Pattinson's talent and dedication to his craft make him an intriguing choice, and his performance does bring a new dimension to the character. However, in my opinion, he lacks the physicality necessary to truly be a believable Dark Knight. And while his portrayal of Bruce was intentionally different to the essence of the character, being introverted and isolated rather than an eccentric billionaire playboy, it still worked very well for this version of the character, but again, doesn't make it the most accurate. So, to conclude, throughout Batman's cinematic history, we have witnessed a range of interpretations from talented actors who have donned the cape and cowl. While personal preference plays a significant role in determining the best portrayal, Christian Bale's performance in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy has garnered widespread acclaim for its depth, commitment, and impact. But I genuinely believe that this has got a lot to do with the great writing, and less to do with Bale's performance. Yes, he was great, but he wasn't the best Batman. Though I would say he was potentially the best Bruce Wayne.
Kevin Conroy, the best Batman.
Capturing the slimy, eccentric playboy lifestyle that really flings away any suspicion. Just like how Bruce Wayne is written in Batman Year One. But when it comes to the real version of the character, the one where he is under that cape and cowl, no one brought fear to the criminals of Gotham quite like Ben Affleck's version. He was big, rough, brutal, intimidating, and quite honestly, believable. However, it is important to acknowledge the unique contributions and interpretations.
Honestly, the thing that sent it over for me was the bat armor to take on Superman. I was like, once he threw that on, it was like the first time you saw Iron Man whip out like the Hulk Buster like armor suit for Iron Man, like when Batman put on the bat armor and shit to take on Superman, I was like, oh my god, it's about to go down.
Brought to Batman by Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, I guess George Clooney, and Robert Pattinson. Each actor has left their mark on the character, adding new layers and dimensions. So basically, if we could get Affleck Batman with Bale's Bruce, I think we're onto a winner. At the end of the day, it will always be a personal thing. I have tried my best to stay neutral and just think about not who I consider to be the best, but who was the most accurate. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and return to the Batcave for more Bat content.
Nice. Yeah, man. Like
I'm
Batman.
I'm Batman.
And Batman and Bruce Wayne are it's such a hard character to play because you have the brutality and the athleticism and inquisitiveness of Batman, who just encapsulates all of those things and is all of those things. And then you have just the neurotic, crazy, suave ridiculousness of Bruce Wayne, coupled in with like some psychological baggage from his childhood that he just carries around with him. That is probably like one of like the hardest characters I could probably say like that anybody could probably take on. And I don't know, like for the most part, a lot of the actors have done like a pretty good job with it. You know, I was never like extremely critical of any of these. Like when I saw the movies at the time, like every time when I saw the movies and booted them up, I was like, oh boy, another Batman movie for the most part. But no, I like this video 100%, man. This was awesome. And I want to see more. So yeah, that was pretty much it for me. Good video, man. I'm a fan. And I'll catch you guys on the next one, all right? Peace.